SQL interview questions and answers 71 to 75. Question number 71. What is user-defined functions? In SQL Server, a user-defined function is a function created by a user with a set of statements that can be reused in SQL queries. It is similar to a system function, but it is created by user to perform a specific task. User-defined functions can be scalar functions that return a single value or table valued functions that return a table. User-defined functions, that is UDFs, can be used to encapsulate complex logic or calculation, making it easier to run in queries without having to write the code every time. They can also improve performance of queries by reducing the amount of code that needs to be executed. Question number 72. What are all types of user-defined functions? In SQL Server, there are three types of user-defined function. Scalar function. A scalar function is a function that returns a single value. It can be used anywhere in a SQL query where an expression can be used. Table valued function. A table valued function is a function that returns a table. It can table valued functions. Number 2, a table valued function is a function that returns a table. It can be used in the from clause of a select statement or as a row set function in the select list of a select statement. Third, inline table valued function. An inline table valued function is a table valued function that returns a table. It can be used in from clause of a select statement, and it can also be used as a row set function in select list of a select statement. The difference between an inline table valued function and a regular table valued function is that the inline function is expanded by query optimizer into calling query, whereas the regular table value function is executed separately and its results are stored in a temporary table. What is collation? Collation is a set of rules that governs how data is sorted and compared in database. It specifies the character set used for storing data, the sort order used for sorting data, and the rules for comparing and equating strings with different character sets. In SQL Server, collation can be set at different levels, including the server level, database level, and column level. The collation setting can impact how data is sorted, compared, and displayed in the database. SQL Server supports a variety of collations, including those for Unicode and non-Unicode data, case-sensitive and case-insensitive sorting, and accent-sensitive and accent-insensitive sorting. Question number 74. What are all different types of collation sensitivity? There are 4 different types of collation sensitivity: case-sensitive, case-insensitive, accent-sensitive, and number 4th, accent-insensitive. Number 1, case-sensitive. This type of sensitivity distinguishes between uppercase and lowercase letter. For example, capital A and small a are considered different. Case insensitive. This type of sensitivity does not distinguish between uppercase and lowercase letters. For example, capital A and small a are considered the same. Accent sensitive. This type of sensitivity distinguishes between accented and unaccented characters. For example, E and E are considered different. Accent insensitive. This type of sensitivity does not distinguish between accented and unaccented characters. For example, E with dash on top and E are considered the same. Question number 75. Advantages and disadvantages of stored procedure. Stored procedure are powerful feature of SQL that can provide several advantages and disadvantages. Here are some of them. Advantages: reusability. Number 2, improved performance. Number 3, security. Number 4, modularization. Reusability. Stored procedures are reusable, meaning that you can call them from different parts of your code. This can save your time and effort since you do not have to write the same code multiple times. Improved performance. Stored procedure can be compiled and optimized for faster execution. Once compiled, they are stored in memory, which means that subsequent calls can be executed much faster. Security. Stored procedures can provide an additional layer of security by allowing you to grant or deny access to specific procedures. This can help protect your data and prevent unauthorized access. Modularization. Stored procedure can help you modularize your code, making it easier to maintain and debug. This can be particularly useful for complex applications that require a lot of code. Disadvantages: complexity, testing, versioning, limited portability. Complexity: stored procedure can be complex, which can make them harder to write and maintain. This can be particularly true for larger applications that require a lot of stored procedures. Testing stored procedure can be challenging since they are typically executed in the database. This means that you need to set up a test database to test your procedure, which can be time consuming. Versioning: managing different versions of a stored procedure can be challenging. If you have multiple versions of a stored procedure, you need to make sure that you are calling the correct version of the procedure. Limited portability. Stored procedures are typically database specific, which means they may not be portable across different database systems. If you need to switch to a different database system, you may need to rewrite your stored procedure. Overall, stored procedures can be useful feature of SQL that can provide several advantages, but they can also have some drawbacks. It is important to consider both the advantages and disadvantages when deciding whether to use stored procedure in your application.